Sit down, Mrs. Sugden.
I'd rather say what I have to say standing up.
Has something happened?
It has, and it hasn't.
Marian, get Mrs. Sugden a drink.
No, thank you.
All right, then. What's it all about?
Her.
Marian?
And my two lads.
What am I supposed to have done?
You can stand there and ask that.
Mrs. Sugden, for heaven's sake, sit down and then we can talk about this calmly, whatever it is. That's better. Now, let's hear what's on your mind.
Playing one off against t'other. That's what I'm talking about. Leading 'em on, both of 'em. And if you ask me, she don't care a damn about either of 'em. Playing up Jack so I don't know whether he's coming or going. Letting farm go to rack and ruin. Filling young Joe's head with daft ideas so he's going round with it up in clouds. And all the time playing around herself with young men in cars from the city. I'm not standing for it anymore, and that's flat.
Now will you have a drink?
I don't want a drink. I want an answer.
You haven't asked the question.
When's it going to stop? That's what I want to know.
Better ask Marian.
Well?
You've got it all wrong, Mrs. Sugden. I haven't been leading anyone on. It's not my fault.
I've heard that before.
It's true.
I'm not daft. Why can't Jack make up his mind about farm? Only because he doesn't know where he stands with you.
I've made that perfectly clear.
And what's all this about our Joe taking exams? Who put that idea into his head?
Well, what's wrong with that?
Sugden's all right till you came along.
Go and make a cup of tea.
I don't want tea.
I do. Go on. Mrs. Sugden, you're a woman after my own heart. What young people are nowadays.
That's why I'm worried.
I bet you led the young men on a bit once, eh?
I mean, I did.
Not that I'm saying that my daughter does.
It's different when you're a mother. You look at things different.
How old are they?
Old enough to know better.
Old enough to look after themselves.
I'm best judge of that.
Mrs. Sugden, why don't you take your coat off? You'll feel it when you go out.
I'm all right.
Your eldest, Jack.
What about him?
Interesting lad. Been working in London, I hear.
If you're going to ask me what doing, you can save your breath.
Ah. Well, he's home now.
Ah,
Pleases you to have him back.
what do you think?
Going to stay, is he?
If he's let be.
I'm glad I don't have to do business with you. You won't be beat.
Not by a man like you.
I should have had you as a partner instead of Albert Fisher. You're wasting yourself on a farm. Young Joe. He's a good farmer, is he?
He's a strong lad.
Reliable.
Aye.
Sort of chap as would make a good farm manager, is he?
You need brains for that.
He's not stupid.
Never said he was.
But you don't reckon much of this idea of his.
He knows about sheep. He's good with his hands. He can help a cow with a difficult calving. You don't learn that from books. Anyway, if it weren't for that daughter of yours, thought would never have entered his head.
She was only trying to help.
That's the sort of help Joe can do without.
Here we are. You will have some, won't you, Mrs. Sugden?
Well, since you've gone to trouble of making it.
There was no trouble. While I was waiting for the kettle to boil, I was thinking about what you said. You were right, of course.
I know I was.
Partly, anyway. I honestly didn't mean to give Joe the idea there was anything, you know. But I can see how he might have misunderstood.
Should never have given him them flowers in hospital.
Flowers?
Reckon that's when it started.
The flowers from Pargeter you told me to get rid of. Perhaps it would be a good idea if I didn't see him again for a bit.
No. We don't need to go as far as that. We don't want to cut ourselves off completely.
Lassie's right. I'll have a word with Joe. He'll listen to me. Not Jack, though.
I don't think you need worry about Jack.
Oh, thanks for the tea.
Don't mention it. You must come up and see us again sometime soon.
Please do. I don't get much time for visiting.
Perhaps I could come up and see you. I'll get this damn thing off.
Ah.
Got off on the wrong foot last time, I remember. Behave myself next time. Good night, Mrs. Sugden.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Fine woman, that.
I'd rather have her as a friend than an enemy.
Salt of the earth, that sort.
My, you are impressed.
What being born and bred in the country does for you.
Nonsense, you find them everywhere.
You won't get many like that in your generation.
If that's what you think, you should meet her daughter.
You don't like Mrs. Sugden, eh?
Let's say I don't envy anyone who gets her as a mother-in-law.
A couple of weeks back, I was beginning to think it might be you.
That was a couple of weeks back.
Aye. Well.
When your leg's better, I was thinking of going away for a bit.
Oh? Where?
Anywhere, just for a holiday.
We've only just got here.
I just want to get things in perspective again.
Perhaps you're right.
I'd like to meet some plain, ordinary people for a change.
Well, you don't get 'em much more plain and ordinary than round here.
Standing up to their knees in mud with great chips on their shoulders.